So this is a brand new project, and I'm gonna go here in Rhino and go to units to see what I'm working with. Let's go here to units, and then I'm working with inches decimal, just to give you an idea of what the units I'm working with. But it doesn't really matter what units you're working with. I just wanted to show you which ones I'm working with. So let's move forward and start our base geometry, which is going to be a circle. And this circle will give a radius. So for me, it's going to be a 40-foot radius, and I'm going to multiply it by 12 to get it into inches. So it's going to be a radius of 480 here. And so this circle, the next step is going to be to subdivide it to create our base geometry for the twisted tower. So let's divide the curve, the circle, and how many? So the default here of count is 10, and a lot of these components are going to come with defaults, so make sure to check the default is going to be 10 here. So let's go to 1, because we just want 1 point along that circle. And now that we have that point, we'll want to take this and copy it over. That way we can create a circle right at that point, and we don't have to start over from scratch. So I'll take this and I'll either copy paste, or I'll drag over and hit Alt to make a copy. And here we can plug in that point where that plane is, and there we have that circle that is able to adjust with this slider. Now that's going to be here on that base circle, and you'll see why it's important to have that base circle. So that base circle is going to give us the center point. So it's going to be the centroid that we want to get, and that's going to be with a component called area. So we'll take area and we'll plug the circle into it, and there we have the centroid, which is the point in the exact center, and that's going to be so we can take these circles and move them up and rotate them around based on that point. It's also important to note that we should keep things organized and labeled. That way we don't get confused as to what things are what. So I'm going to go here to panel. You can also double click and find panel, and then we can start going here and saying this is going to be base. I like doing it in caps, so base circle radius. Then we can go here and we can say, well, this one's actually since we're always going to want to divide it by 1, we actually want to go here and type in 1 with this panel, and that way we can actually just plug in that 1 into the count and get rid of that, because someone might come in here and move that slider, and that's not what we want. We want to make sure that it's always 1. And here this is going to be our tower radius. We'll just go rad radius. Okay, here we go. We have everything organized here, and now our next move is going to be to take that circle and take this point and move it up. So let's move this circle up in the Z direction. So I'm going to copy over one of these sliders and then plug that into the Z vector. So the movement, it's going to ask you for a vector. So we're just going to go up 30 feet or 100 feet. So that's going to be our extents. And then what we want to do is take that exact same circle and we want to rotate it relative to this point. So it's going to be rotated relative to that point. Which one? This circle. And it's going to be what angle. That's what's important is to right click here and go to degrees, because that's going to allow us to go make a slider from 0 ... to 180, and that way we can rotate this from 0 to 180. So from one side to the complete other side, and that's pretty cool because that's going to allow us to create that twisted tower form that we're looking to get here in the end. So let's go ahead and take that one and actually hide it, and see that if we keep it here at 90 and we were to take, let's say, this base circle and then this geometry, we're getting a strange kind of like rippling effect. That's not really what we want. And then here, let's go to high quality to make sure that we're getting an accurate kind of look. And that's not really working. The reason why is because we want to actually create another circle right in between these two to give it more of a flowy, continuous look. So to do that it's fairly simple. We'll have to divide all of these. So the height is going to be divided by 2, so we create one right in the middle, and the rotation is actually going to be, since it's in the middle, we want to be divided by 2, so that angle divided by 2. Let's go ahead and create that right now. Let's move this initial circle up this amount divided by 2. So we'll go here, double click, do /2 to do a division of 2, and then we can plug in this vector, and then it'll do a division of 2 and move it up halfway. So no matter how much you move this up and down, it's always going to move that curve halfway. And we want to do the same thing with the rotation. So wherever, since it's in the middle, we want it to rotate halfway. So let's go ahead and rotate this geometry. We can hide it. Go to the angle here, 2 degrees, and copy over this component, which is a division of 2. And we'll have to divide 90 by 2. That will give us 45. And we can plug that into the angle, and make sure that the plane, we always have this centroid. And there we have the 3 circles that we can easily now rotate, or not rotate, sorry. We can loft, because we already did the rotation. We loft together the base one, go here to curves, then go to flatten, then the second one, which is this one, and then we'll go to the third one, and there we go. You see that it's a lot more of it's a lot smoother of a rotation. And now if you want to go to a crazy amount of rotations, you do want to create some more subdivisions in the middle, but since we're only going to about 90 to 180, it's not really necessary. But you can see that here towards the end, it's getting a little distorted at the top. So that's just something to be aware of and keep in mind if that's what you're trying to do at the end. So I'm going to go here and start organizing. So it's going to be tower height. And here it's going to be tower rotation. Rotation angle. We can move this out of the way. Make sure we keep things organized. And if we need more space, we have like infinite space here. So let's make sure you give yourself some space so you can visualize everything. And if you want to align things, double select them and then go to the left. So there's little things that you can learn from just playing around with the things that you see. But anyway, so we're here, we have that form, and now the next step is going to be to take this form and rotate it around. So that's going to be some few simple steps that are going to be really useful for not just this script, but many other scripts in the future.